is if I'm the Cowboys coach early on, I'm taking some big shots and some big plays because that's when you're going to surprise the Eagles.
Without further ado, let's bring our man in who's been drunk for about 10 days now. He is our friend, Mark Holmes, the #1 creator of Dallas content, and our dear friend, the legend, Philly.500, the king, and here he is, the #1 prognosticator when it comes to Cowboy content. Philly.500.
Not only did I call the trade, but I called Mark Holmes' response to the trade a week later. He's gone from I hate the trade to I think I was wrong, Jerry Jones.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say no.
Wait a minute, Mark. I'm going to give you the first. I'm going to give you the first response, and I want to hear your takeaway. You've had time now, first to absorb it and to sit there and hear and see how this thing is played out. Your initial takeaway now with Micah Parsons being traded, who, by the way, made another comment today, did not want to leave Dallas at all. Let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, he said that, but this whole thing, it's like you're in a relationship, okay? Everything is great when you're together, but as soon as you break up with her, she's going around telling her girlfriend, girl, he never did it. He about this big. That's how it goes.
For me,
Micah Parsons, he had one quote yesterday where he talks about, here in Green Bay, everything's about football. I'm going to focus in on this, and this is exactly what I needed. Basically kind of saying all the drama in Dallas is something that, I'm glad I left behind. It's like, bro, you were most of the drama. You were the one with the podcast that you're, after we get mollywopped by the Detroit Lions, you're sitting there yucking it up with Big Play Slay. You're the drama. What are you talking about? Now, yeah, maybe he didn't want to leave. Maybe he's now in Green Bay and looking around and saying, where's all the fun stuff? Because that is a little small-ass town. There ain't shit to do in Green Bay compared to Dallas. And it might be like, damn. And then the taxes, he's going to make less money there than if he had taken the 40 from the Cowboys because the taxes are going to eat it up. But be that as it may, I'm going to actually say that Brian Schottenheimer actually had a great quote about this because they said, well, what do you people are looking at this and saying you're kind of giving up on the season and things. He said, it's not really about this season. It's like, where are we going to be in 2 years? I'm just saying.
That's the moral life being marked to a locker room.
You know what? There was this super intelligent, football knowledgeable guy who pointed out something that was very, very deep. That all of these high-priced edge rushers ain't done dick when it comes to playoffs or even making playoffs. And so when you start thinking about $47 million, Jerry has a point about maybe we can get other players. The execution of this is more of the problem. So it's just bad all the way around, between Micah and his situation and being, the guy that he is and rubbing people the wrong way to Jerry Jones waiting forever to sign him. It's just like everybody fucked up.
I agree. Philly, your takeaway on Micah Parsons being dealt to Green Bay.
Not a surprise. I thought he was going to get traded. When I saw him do the whole thing with the medical bench and lay there during the game, I was like, this is not going good. And as much as we were talking about Jerry Jones and Jerry Jones a certain way, he's not going to put up with that. So to me, it made sense that they traded him. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I actually thought Dallas would have gotten a little bit more for him.
Yeah,
I think they could have gotten a little bit more for him. But
why didn't they trade him, Philly? Why didn't they trade him draft day? Draft night,
yeah, right. They would have gotten way more. But why didn't they say give me Edrin Cooper? We're going to throw him in there too.
Yeah,
or somebody like that. It was a little surprising.
Or Xavier McKinney. Right.
If you look at what the Bears gave up for Khalil Mack, it was more than what they got for Parsons. I just think the whole thing was butchered by the Cowboys and by Parsons.
I think it's going to do this, guys. I think it's either going to demoralize or it's going to galvanize. And I've been saying that on my program. I think that if Philly gets out tomorrow, Mark, and they get out to a 21-0 lead, I think it's going to demoralize. But if you're hanging in there, and this game is like a 14-7, it's like a 20-10 halftime score, you're still in the game. You're not demoralized. Because to me right now, when you take a superstar player out of your locker room like that, and you give these lame-ass takes where, hey, fuck, we're better now here, we're going to be a better – dude, don't talk to professional football players like that. You could talk to college guys like that. So I do think that Brian Schottenheimer has actually handled this better than I thought for a first-year head coach. He's got the right answers. I think he knows how to talk to Jerry Jones. Remember something. When you're the head coach of the Cowboys and you're in front of the media, Philly, when you're in front of the media and you're talking to the media people and you're the head coach of the Cowboys, you're not talking to the media. You're talking to Jerry. So you got to make sure you're careful in how you deliver your message. I got to tell you, Mark, I think he's done a decent job of it.
Can I point out something here?
Sure.
So last year with Micah Parsons, we were, I believe, the worst team in points. Fourth worst
points
in
allowed.
Yard. Huh? Yeah.
Points allowed.
Scoring defense. Right. We were fourth worst in yardage. We were worst in yards per run at 4.8 yards. Okay. We were literally one of the worst defenses with Micah Parsons. How much worse? Oh, honestly.
Mark, hang on.
How much worse could we be
got rid of him. I don't hate
Micah
got rid of him.
Parsons?
Mark,
if I can lose with you, I can lose without you.
Mark, I don't hate you got rid of him. I hate what you got.
I agree with you on that one, 100%.
Okay, my problem is this. Look at the Philadelphia.
How quickly we change our view.
Here, how about this? Let me show you what the Philadelphia.
Don't get me wrong, Philly. Don't get me wrong. Would I rather have Micah Parsons on the team and have his ability? Yes.
Why the Eagles don't?
But there's more dynamics to this, and we're getting kind of sad.
But what did you did it? You did a video after the trade, and the video
I was drunk.
Said, but no, not that video. When you started to come around to this thinking, you said you admitted that he is not Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, I did.
He's not.
He's not.
I know. Well, we've been telling him that for how many years?
But here's the thing, though. I will still say about this now. Lawrence Taylor was one of a kind.
Yes.
But he also had a great supporting cast around him. When you start looking at Carl Banks and Harry Carsons and all those guys that were there, that made it was easy for him to be maximized his abilities because he wasn't so. I mean, you had to worry about Lawrence Taylor. The problem with the Cowboys is, you got Micah getting triple team and ain't nobody else busting a grape. That's the problem with the Cowboys is, and had they signed him for $47 million, it would be just the status quo. You're not going to be able to get any better with us spending that kind of money.
But here,
top end, wide receiver, edge rusher, quarterback. It's just not enough money to go around.
Here's where I've been consistent, and I've been saying this since the Eagles convinced me. Actually, Philly.500, his general manager convinced me. The Philadelphia Eagles don't have elite edge rushers, and they dominated and were number one in the NFL last year.
But they've got elite.
They got elite interior defensive line.
Right. The interior line is what sets up that outside
That's
rush.
the difference right there, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to show Mark. I'm going to give you another stat. Look at the last 10 Super Bowls. Ready? You can't name one elite pass rusher that led his team to a Super Bowl. But what I can do is watch this. Jalen Carter, Eagles. Chris Jones, Chiefs. Right?
Yeah.
Patriots. Vince Wilfork, interior defensive line play. Fletcher Cox, Eagles. All these interior defensive linemen. The problem that you had was missing on Mozzie. That's what affected Micah Parsons being dealt because you couldn't stop the run. Where Philly and his Eagle team got better was that they landed on another Jerome Brown. They landed on Jalen Carter. Philly, that's what's changing, kind of changed the direction of your football team, is landing on Carter.
There's another one of those statistics out there that's kind of interesting, too, if you look it up, is top paid wide receivers.
Oh, I agree.
It's really the elite tight ends.
A.J. Brown's the only guy to have won a
one.
Super Bowl in the last 10 years that had one of the elite contracts. Cooper Kupp didn't get that contract until after. So that's a true statement, too. I don't believe in signing those guys to big-time contracts. I mean, look at the Chiefs. They go there with Juju Smith-Schuster and Rashid Rice.
But
it's all in the QB.
But they got Kelsey as a tight end. That's the other stat is almost every one of them have great tight ends.
Here's something that Philly was fighting me on earlier on the program. I said this to him, and you tell him, Phil, I'll give it to you first, Philly. The stuff tomorrow with Dak in the playoffs has no bearing on anything tomorrow night.
No bearing.
I mean, he's 38. He's 38-4
right.
in the East,
and either does that statistic.
Okay,
38-4 has no bearing on tomorrow.
Okay, well, wait a minute. So you want both of them? That doesn't have any bearing. But
I'm saying,
hold on, wait a minute.
I'm saying
you're telling me the postseason has a bearing on everything he does in his career. That's what you tell me.
No, what I say is how we look at him. Okay, how you look at Dak in the totality of best quarterbacks in the league today, you have to look at the playoffs. Going into tomorrow's game, you're right. The playoffs have no bearing on the first game of the regular season. And I'm just saying, either does his record in the NFC for the last 10 years.
I'm not holding anything against him in the playoffs tomorrow night.
I am not either.
Anytime that guy plays an NFC East team, that guy's resume does speak to the fact that he has great success to everybody.
Yeah, how many consecutive NFC East divisions has he won? How many?
In the last 21 years? Nobody.
None.
In the last 21 years.
Imagine you have a 38 that record.
There's not one quarterback.
Consecutive divisions.
There's not one quarterback in the last 21 years who has that resume.
Well, nobody was talking about his 38 wins in the NFC East. What I'm saying is he's completely squandered.
Every Eagle fan resorts to this. The guy sucks in the playoffs. Fair. You're right.
He does. He does.
Has no bearing tomorrow night. If we're
going
to use that metric,
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Mark, if we're going to use that metric that he sucks in the playoffs, then you have to use the metric
it that he's good in the regular season against them.
He's 38-4 in the East.
But we're not using the metric of the postseason. Who's putting that in there?
Every Eagle fan out there.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody. Hold on, Philly. Oh no, Philly. You know, if the Dallas Cowboys shock the world and they win tomorrow night, every Eagle fan is going to say, "Well, he sucks in the playoffs in the regular season."
Nobody has
come
said.
On, man.
You're talking about when you're ranking quarterbacks.
You're full of
when
shit,
you're talking
Philly.
about how good a quarterback is compared to other quarterbacks.
Philly, all the
when
time.
you talk about tomorrow night,
are you serious?
His playoff record has no
bearing.
I keep saying it. How many times do I have to say it
right now?
Those trace,
you bring his playoff record every day.
You are so full of shit every day.
Yes,
Dak Prescott
what are we discussing? What are we discussing with Dak Prescott? What are we discussing? What are we discussing? No. Shot JFK logic. That's what this shit is.
Somehow the Cowboys coming with.
It's
just regular season. Dak Prescott always plays good in regular season, but it's only playoffs that matter.
That has nothing to do with tomorrow night in the game. Nobody has ever said because Dak Prescott loses in the playoffs, he's going to lose week 1. God. Nobody has ever made that statement. Nobody. Who's ever said that? Nobody. I don't even speak Vietnamese, and they're not saying it.
Oh my guy's a choke
people in China. I don't speak
Chinese.
Chinese. They're not saying. I can't even speak Spanish. They're not saying it. I can't even speak English. They're not saying it. Nobody's saying it. Nobody said it. Nobody has ever said that Dak Prescott can't win week 1 because he loses in the playoffs. That's the most.
They don't call him a choke artist.
He is a choke artist in big games. What do we say? And he's a pad statter during a regular season. Yeah.
He's 38-8, 38-4.
Yeah, and what has he done with that record? Nothing.
Again, there it is. Postseason against
titles in a row.
See, Mark,
you win 38 games and never get repeat division winner. How does that even happen?
38.
Come on. 38. Oh, yeah, but you're talking about
It's actually
2016,
33 and 8.
2017,
I mean,
33 and 8.
yeah.
2019,
It's
2020.
only 4 times that
the
the
same
Eagles have
team.
won. The Giants
It
have beat
has
them twice, and
nothing to
Washington's
do
got a
with
couple.
tomorrow. Has nothing to do with tomorrow. Just
You're
like
right. The
his
postseason
playoff.
doesn't either.
I agree.
Okay.
So
No. What he's trying to do, Mark, is tell me and you that Eagle fans don't call him
A choker.
a choker. I see
he
it all
is a
the
choker.
time.
But that doesn't. We're not talking about game one. We're talking about when we're talking about the totality of court. When Sills goes, I got the quarterback rankings here from CBS. Oh, Dak Prescott is number 8 and Jalen Hurts is number 12. Then we're talking about it. But then we're talking about it. But I'm saying that's when we're talking about it. The totality of the quarterback. We're not talking about regular season.
Hey, Mark, where do you? Okay, wait, Philly. Where do you? No, I got to do Mark on this one. Where do you think you have the advantage heading into this game tomorrow night? Where do you believe
going into their secondary, wide receivers,
okay.
wide receiver and quarterback? That's really about the only spot that you look at and say we got a chance. I'm sorry, the Eagles team is loaded. Their defensive line is great. My running game, I don't know that Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders is going to make that big of a difference compared to last year. Our offensive line, Tyler Guyton, has practiced all week and is scheduled to actually start playing, but he's missed almost all of training camp. And we got another rookie that's starting on the offensive line. Another question mark. We got Clark to help us to stop the run game, but he just literally got here, had a cup of coffee, and now we're going to throw him to the wolves, against that Eagles offensive line. Diggs is going to be playing, and he's probably about 85% coming back from microfracture surgery. And, we got linebackers that are all basically new. So there's tons and tons of question marks for us going into this game.
Absolutely. Here's my question for you, Philly. Are you 1,000% sold on your edge rushers heading in that you have good enough pressure that you're going to be able to get with those guys on the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, they had a nice stretch run. There's no doubt. I don't know who Jalix Hunt is yet. I've seen really good. I think there's something there. I'm with you. I'm with everyone. I think there's something, and I see what kind of the Eagles are thinking. But, I mean, going into this game again, Nolan Smith, I mean, he's got to show he can play 17 games, and he's got to finally finish a season where he can stay healthy. Do you believe you get enough pressure on Dak, not for him to be able to take advantage a little bit of some of the suspect holes at safety and corner in that secondary of the Eagles?
I think eventually they'll get to him. But, I expect this game to be really ugly the first quarter. So I'm expecting a lot of rust. I expect back and forth early on. So I really think you're going to see multiple teams 3 and outs, punting, feeling each other out kind of long. So I think it's going to take some sort of adjustment. But where I think they're going to have Dallas's number, and I think it's going to open up, is when we talk about the interior pressure. I think the interior pressure is going to be really good tomorrow, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because I think Carter's going to be Carter, but I think Jordan Davis is going to step up to the plate and have a big year. So I think that they'll get home. I agree with you. Jalix Hunt looked good. Nolan Smith looked good, and you got to try to let those guys develop. But, they got to go do it again. That's true.
How about this, though, here, Philly? This is where the Cowboys will equalize and have, I think, a small advantage. Mark, I'll tell you what, Landon Dickerson. So what I don't get is this guy's had 2 surgeries. He's now got a bad back he's heading into. Now, he was in the walkthroughs. The last 2 days in Philly, they were walkthroughs, so you don't really get a good sense of anything. But if that guy is not healthy enough, you got Tyler Steen and some dude named Brett Toth that you're going to have interior-wise with Cam Jurgens in the middle. Philly, don't you think that gets neutralized? If he's not 100%,
he's not
heading into the game, you don't have the advantage in the O-line.
He's 70%. They're done. Dallas is done.
No
yeah,
way.
70%.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you start out the season at 70%, it's a long season.
Okay.
Well, that may be true, but for
here,
this game, for this specific game, if Dickerson can play, Dallas is in trouble.
Here, get this. So why would I put a guy in a game?
Why are we assuming? But
why would
are
I
we
put a guy?
assuming that,
Well, because
that
I'm not assuming he had 2 surgeries and he was listed earlier in the thing with his back. That's not assuming.
Yeah, maybe his back hurt one day. He took an Advil.
Here's what I'm saying now.
More like Tanadol.
If he is 70%, don't you need him for the season instead of the Cowboy game?
Of course. But I mean, that's just like, to me, that's just a giant if. I have to assume that if the Eagles put him on the field, that he can play, that he's ready to go. And we know from previous years, especially last year, that he plays at a high level, even injured, and he has a high tolerance for pain. So, I mean, I have to assume if he's, 80-90% or whatever, they're gonna be cautious about it. But
now those were NFC Championship games, but I do agree with you. Okay,
no, but what I'm saying is I don't think the Eagles would throw him in. No,
I agree. 70%. I agree.
Is what I'm trying to say.
They side on protection. They do.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's game 1. It's as much as we hype it up because it's Eagles, Dallas, and all that. It's still week 1. They're not going to throw him to the wolves, in my opinion.
How about this one here, Mark? So their head coach, Mr. Giggles, he was asked a question the other day.
Are you talking about Super Bowl champion?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Watch this.
Sirianni.
Hey, what about the banner falling? Goes, banner? I don't know anything about a banner. I didn't know a banner. Night. I don't know any. I mean, this guy's so full of shit. He goes, we don't know anything about it's banner night. What do you mean it's banner night? I don't know anything about banner night. Holy cow. Why can't this guy just tell the truth? He's got to be some bullshit artist. Everybody in Philadelphia is waiting for this thing to fall.
He knows.
And here he is. We're not going out there. We're not allowed to go out. These guys are grown men.
Man, you're really nitpicking, aren't you, Phil?
The Sil's really is going on
today. He's really nitpicking. What if 38 wins for Dak Prescott? Amazing.
Watch this.
Holmes always says Dak Prescott can't do it.
Hey, get this. Here's the Eagles. You're not allowed to go out and look at the banner fall because that's a no-no. You're not allowed to say repeat. That's a no-no. You can't go out. What's the banner fall? Banner night? I don't know. Holy shit, man. These guys are fucking grown men. They can't go out there and celebrate. I don't know, man. I mean, hell, even CD Lamb said he's going to go out there and watch the banner.
Yeah, he's going to go and be. For motivation. Go get motivated, buddy. Keep those players off the field. I have no problem with what they're doing. We don't need to do that.
All right, Mark. How many yards does your boy throw for tomorrow night?
Hey, Sills. Wait a second.
About 340.
I just want to say one thing.
Brother. Go ahead.
I just want to say one. Look, the one thing that scares me about the season, the one thing that you have to be worried about is the players feeling great because they won last year. Something about losing that hunger, losing that focus is real. You got the Americas game tomorrow. You got the banner going up Thursday. You got Cooper DeJean, got Sileo. You got Saquon Barkley, got a documentary. It's just like, at what point
is it too much?
Focus back off.
That sounds like the Dallas Cowboys.
That's the distraction. That's what
win.
You got to worry about.
Sorry, dude, they win.
That's what I fear.
They're not the they're not the Cowboys. They win.
No, right. They're not the Cowboys. They win.
No, I'm saying that all that distractions and stuff is like the Dallas Cowboys.
No, Philly, you know what? The cereal bowl, all this shit that went on, it's a lot. It really for an Eagle
I don't even think DeJean was home.
Do that. You know? I got it.
That's what I worry about.
Mark.
What you really have to worry about, though, is, and see, this is the thing people don't really talk about a whole lot, is because you played in the Super Bowl, you've played extra games, and you have less time to recover. And that's where you look at Landon Dickerson, a couple of surgeries and stuff. He's kind of nicked up. That's where the injuries come in because your body only has many hits into it. And with that season ending in the middle of February, and here it is early September,
Mark,
it ain't much time.
That's why they didn't do much in the offseason.
That's right. That's another great point by Philly. Don't you feel, Philly, that this offseason has been a little rushed? And what I mean by that is that they didn't. I mean, they're usually very proactive, right? At replacing things. And now you're seeing moves being made prior to the start of the season. Doesn't it seem a little rushed?
But it's also why they had the turnover they had, right? It's in 2017 we learned that we bring everybody back and they just won. You don't have a lot of hungry dogs, as Jason Kelsey said. And the other thing is a guy like Saquon. I mean, Saquon basically said he didn't do it pretty much anything except for keep in shape because he was trying to rest his body up as much as possible.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they tried to make it, the best adjustments that they can. Ultimately, we'll find out. I mean, it's got to play itself out. But those are all things that you have to worry about as champs. So Dallas definitely doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Hey. All right,
to
Mark,
win so
let's
bad.
do
Right?
something.
I mean, under Mark's theory, Dallas should come in, run up and down the field on the Eagles, be 3-4 steps ahead because we're still,
I didn't know,
hungover
dude.
with Thanksgiving. We're fat
No,
and tired
the
and
fact
slow,
that you
and
had the
we're worn
majority
out.
of your roster together and you're not changing things. A third of our roster is new. We literally have all new coaches. And so it takes time. Like
Bro, they
we all
got
pointed
18
out,
new
September is a crazy month. It wouldn't surprise me the Cowboys came out and they mollywopped you and we still ended up missing the playoffs.
Hey,
Because
Mark,
the first month you don't really know what you have the first month.
September's a liar's month
Yeah.
in the NFL. It's
It
a liar's
is.
month.
It is.
However,
It is.
the Eagles have 18 new players on their team. Okay, so 18 new players on their ball team.
And I agree with that. I think that's the right move. I think you have to have turnover when you get championship.
Bill Belichick always
Bill
turned his
Belichick has
roster.
always said up to 30% of his roster would be different because you want guys that come in that have that hunger, that want to win. Not guys that are, the Eagles in 2018 Sills, it was, I mean, they look like, they won.
They finished 9-7, right? 9-7 or something like that.
I think they snuck in the playoffs and they lost to New Orleans, but I mean, it was bad. Especially the first half of the season was like, they didn't look like they were fully committed to winning.
So let me ask you this, Philly. Are you paying Reed Blankenship $15 million? He just changed agents and he got David McCullough.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
With Green Bay, and that's
Micah
Parsons'
my feeling now is if you don't sign him early on, I'm in no rush. I'm gonna let the season play out. And
I don't think that guy's a $15 million a year guy.
Well, I don't know that he is either, but I'm willing to at this point let him play out. What is a top safety making?
22.
So 22. He's definitely not top 5. He should be paid around 11 or 12, somewhere in there. So it would depend on the contract. But I mean,
don't you agree though? The last 2 years have been so different. Like in 23, he stunk.
Well,
in
yeah,
24, he was great.
That whole defense stunk, though. I mean, it was.
Yeah, but I got a feeling if you were on a bad football team, Quinyon Mitchell's not going to look bad.
No, but I don't view him as like a star safety. I view him as a very good player, a legitimate starter. You know what I mean? So I don't look at him as, Ronnie Lott or Brian Dawkins. I look at him as a guy who is a legitimate, decent starter when you got talent around him. And, you got to pay him accordingly.
Mark, what about the Deron Bland contract? Was that the right move to make for the Cowboys?
Time will tell. I mean, that was a reasonable contract offer for him. That was one that I might have waited on because he had the great second year, with all of the pick sixes and things. Last year, he didn't play until week 11. So it's kind of like, this is kind of gambling. Which guy do you have? Do you have a guy who's going to end up being injured, or do you have a guy who's going to be a pick magnet? But the Cowboys kind of needed to make some moves to kind of say, we didn't sign Micah Parsons because we're going to do these things. You can't go through and trade Micah Parsons and then sit on $40 million. If they get Tyler Smith, and this is where I will say that it is totally different. We've heard rumors that they're working on Tyler Smith. If they lock him down, then you've cut off any of the usual Dallas Cowboys in training camp signing a guy. And you have to say, okay, we're not about drama now. We're actually trying to do something.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look.
I love Bland. I would have had 4 pick sixes that year too. Right now, I would have had 4 with some of those passes he got. I mean,
hey, let me ask you here.
Luckier than that.
Tomorrow night, Dak Prescott goes for what?
340 yards, 3 TDs.
340 yards, And 3 TDs?
Mm-hmm.
3 TDs.
That's his average has been against the in the last in the 2020s, 305 yards, 3 TDs, and I think 8.9 yards per pass, and 72% completion percentage. He's played well against the Eagles.
CeeDee Lamb's numbers.
CeeDee Lamb, oh shit, 120 yards, 1 TD.
All right, hey, Billy.
Hey, if we can't pass the football,
Want to know what I think Dak's going to do tomorrow?
No, see, I think you're right, though. And I'll tell you why. The problem is going to be this, Mark. Are they going to be quality yards? Or are they going to be garbage yards?
You didn't ask me that to begin with. But if we don't come out and punch them in the mouth early, then the game's going to be lost.
What do you
we
think?
We have to come out and shock them.
Hey, Nostradamus, who picked the trade.
262 yards. Most of it, or at least half of it, will come in the fourth quarter when the game is well endowed. CeeDee Lamb's going to have 5 catches for about 57 yards. Pickens is going to have like 2 catches, and one of them's going to be like a 30-yard pass. They'll get lucky early, and that'll be about it. That's it.
Boy.
Hey, wait, what does Jalen Hurts throw for tomorrow? Well, first, let's start with the number 1 player in the NFL, Barkley. How many rushing yards does he have tomorrow?
202 yards.
202. How many TDs?
2.
202 yards and 2 TDs.
Here's what's going to happen.
How many Jalen Hurts throw for?
He's going to throw for 1. Here's how it's going to go. He's going to rush for 1. Here's how it'll go. I'm going to tell you how the game's going to go. It's going to come out early. It's going to be back and forth sloppiness, right? Eagles are sloppy. Cowboys are sloppy. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see the Eagles go up-tempo, start running Barkley. He's going to break a 50-yarder. Boom, it's gone. Then the Cowboys are going to get the ball back. Then you're going to get a sack by Jordan Davis causing a fumble that's going to be picked up. Eagles are then going to score real quick again. Devontae Smith. This game is done. It's over at that point. So 34-17.
34. Here it is.
34-17.
17. What do you have? Mark Holmes.
31-27 Eagles.
Wow.
What did he say?
31-27 Eagles.
That game's gonna give both of us a heart attack.
Well, here's what I can guarantee. Come Friday, our numbers will both be through the roof. Okay. Right. If the Cowboys win, it will break the internet. If the Cowboys lose, every Eagle fan out there will be there to troll me.
Here's my score. I've got 31-20. I've got 31-20 Eagles. And I said this. I agree with Philly. I think this thing's going to be fairly close in the first half. And I just think that time of possession is going to start. They're going to hand the ball back off. I see like 38 carries in this game for Barkley. He's going to be doing about 6 yards a carry. I mean, now look, depending on what Clark does in there, can they stop the run?
Well, dude, he didn't do a good job against the
Billy. How about this? You're going to know this. I think this game's going to have, and you're going to be able to get a sense of this game in the first 12 minutes of this. You'll know what's going on in the first 12 minutes.
But see, here's the thing: is the one big question is we really don't know what Dallas's offense is going to look like or what they're going to do. Right? To me, early on is if I'm the Cowboys coach, early on I'm taking some big shots and some big plays because that's when you're going to surprise the Eagles. So Dallas.
They have an advantage there. The unknown.
They have an advantage, but you got to do it early because once the Eagles adjust to it, it's going to be a problem. So if I'm Dallas, I'm coming out. I'm taking shots, man. I'm taking a shot for Pickens.
So you're taking plus 25-yard plays down the field.
Like I'm trying to catch the Eagles early.
Mark is right.
Because that's what you do. If we don't trust it, we got to shock you.
Adjust, it's going to be different. And I don't know what kind of run game the Cowboys have.
That's right.
See, that's
knows.
The problem. And he, look, Dak has never thrown one ball in football action to Pickens. How much is the chemistry going to hurt them or help them? So it just really depends on those things. But if I'm Dallas, I attack early.
Here's where I'll say that we have a case study like that, because we had Amari Cooper come in the middle of the season, and they instantly hit and went off for that season.
Yeah,
because it was literally a couple practices and boom, that turned that season around.
I remember the first game with Chip Dip Kelly going to Washington. We didn't know what was going to happen, and they went out there, and Washington didn't know what was coming at them. So it really depends. But I think if Dallas has a chance this game, they've got to hit on those big plays early, because I think if they don't get at least 3 huge plays, I think they're in trouble. Because I think once the Eagles now, and Patullo's the other question, because if he comes out and he wants to show how great of a coordinator he is, and he can throw the ball and have all these passing plays and gets away from what brought us to where we were, then we're going to make it a lot harder on us. If we come out there, establish the run, and just wear them out, by the fourth quarter, Barkley's going to break a 40-yarder, 50-yarder.
That's right.
And that's the end.
Hey, that right there, the mentality you have, Philly, it's not about winning the first quarter. It's about winning the game. You wear people out by the end of the game with your run game. Now, here's the thing I'll say about Dallas. If Dallas gets 120 yards rushing, hang on. Well, you know how you get 120 yards rushing? Big plays that he's saying down the field, because you get loosened early. Up. And early, and you start getting a run lane with run lanes.
Right.
And you start creating where you've got the element of doubt. He's right. The only way they're going to get a run game going is what he said by
pass us early.
I feel like if Dallas is going to have a chance, if this is going to be close, Dallas got to go up 10-0 early.
But it could end. You know what? If you make those gambles, you could get 2 pick sixes and they're looking at 14 love down too when you're doing
it. I mean, but I think if it's if it's 0-0 in the second quarter and the Eagles are, they start to get going, I think it's a problem for Dallas. I think Dallas, their advantage is early, take advantage of big plays down the field.
That you and I agree on that.
And the Eagles come out. And the Eagles' plan should be, we're going to establish the run. And we know we're doing it, but you can't stop us. That's to me what they got to do.
How about this one here? Last question for both of you here. Is this the last year in Dallas for Dak?
No. And here's why I'll tell you why it's not. Because they basically, if you are to believe all the stuff that you've heard, that this went all the way up to Dak as far as turning players off and things, the Cowboys sided with Dak Prescott. You have to look and say Dak Prescott is in the twilight of his career. Micah Parsons is in the prime of his career. Which one of these guys do you bet on? You want to bet on the guy who's the prime of his career. But they ended up letting him go, and we know that Dak Prescott apparently was part of that, looking at him side-eyed. The Cowboys, you have to look at it and say, we put Micah Parsons by Dak Prescott because we want him to learn from him and to become a leader like him. That failed.
How old is Dak?
They're siding. Dak is 31. If anything,
he's still got 3 years.
Yeah.
He's still got 3 years.
The best scenario for the Cowboys would be is he stays healthy. He gets about 32, 33 TDs, 10 touchdowns, and does the same thing the next year, because then you've got that draft capital where you can invest to try and get some playmakers and try and make a run. I think what that, to me, says is we've got 2 to 3 years to try and build a Super Bowl team. After that, then you've got to move on from Dak.
I think it's his last year.
You don't think Jerry?
It's still too much.
Do you think Jerry's trying to position himself for Arch Manning?
I think not necessarily Arch Manning. I mean, he stunk, by the way, the other day. He needs another year. He needs a whole another year. How about Miami, though? Shout out to Miami.
To get Carson back.
That was awesome. I liked Miami, but
they're going to go far this year.
But I just think that the only way they keep Dak is if they're somehow in the NFC Championship game or go really far. I think if they're borderline playoffs, or let's say they don't make the playoffs, I think he's moving on. I think the move with Parsons was the beginning of him retooling. So, it doesn't have to be for Manning. It could be for somebody else. But I do. I think a lot of it is going to depend on how far the Cowboys go this year. Because if you're 2-3 years away, okay, and you got a 32-year-old quarterback, what's the point? What's the point in keeping him? You're going to be 35 years old by the time he's able to go. I mean, look, I don't think that's going to work.
Okay. I'll tell you what, but remember this, guys. Tomorrow, September's a liars month in the league.
Yep.
Hey, last year, look at this. Let me give you 2 examples, guys. The New Orleans Saints were 3-0, remember? They were scoring 40 points a game, and the Eagles were 2-2. And everybody was calling for Sirianni's ass. So 2 polar opposite teams, right, Philly? Everyone was like, holy cow, look at what they're doing. They're blowing teams out. They look great. The Eagles were 2-2, and people were screaming. You never know in a game like tomorrow night. I'm with you. I don't believe it either. I think there's too much talent on one side.
No, but you're right. You're right. The better teams are most vulnerable the first 4 games. It's true. It's true. But see, this is the thing with the Eagles, right? And this is why I don't worry about the coordinator. To me, I look at them and I look at the rest of the teams in the league, and I think, man, you know what you do well. You know how to do it. You run the ball. You have the best offensive line in football. You have one of the, if not the best running back, you have the best running back in football. If you don't get away from that, I don't think teams can beat you, because I don't think teams are built to beat a team that plays that style in today's football. So just stick what you do and don't try to be fancy, and you'll be fine. I really believe that. Keep it simple.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, you better make sure you keep an eye on both these guys. One for I don't know, if anybody's got a good shrink, you might want to have that one set up there for Mark Holmes. And the other guy, Philly.500, if you want to dance around a little bit after that game.
Yeah.
I'm sure both guys will be streaming the game live tomorrow night. Am I correct?
Streaming the game live and smoking cigars.
Yeah, I'll have my Philly meltdown cam, so we'll be simulcasting.
Yeah. It didn't work out too well for you last year, did it?
The world is a better place when you have meltdowns. I will say that. Philly.
Oh, Philly! Philly's a good meltdown guy.
Oh my God, I've got some great ones. But I tell you what,
that's not good.
We were live streaming when Micah Parsons was traded, and I was taking shots of Zander rum. I passed out on the bathroom floor, and the stream was still going. My wife comes upstairs. You got to be kidding me! I got people calling and says your stream's going and you're not there, and you're
all right
on the floor.
Is he all right? Philly.500's even going. Is the guy dead?
I was calling him. I was texting, are you okay? It's not that serious.
We will catch you, man. Thank you so much. We'll be watching very much. Thank you so much. Love you guys coming on. Thank you again, man.
You too.
Have a great one.